Exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station KCAA, home to the Asian Oprah, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Tiki Live, Podchaser, GeoSun, Rumble, and more. Yes, this is a show about hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal, and no K words. No Kardashian talk at all. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. Why so many eights? Well, eight's a lucky number in Chinese. It's a homophone for good fortune. And so for the past 565 weeks, that's what I've been doing. And thank you for your continued support. It is Monday. And so today, and for most of my Mondays, we've been doing a special series called Life Balance Coaching, or Up-Leveling Your Happiness Coaching. So that's what we're doing today. And we have someone standing by. But before we do that, I do have an interview that I have for you from a gentleman who is the CEO of the Propane Council. And I wanted to bring him to you because, you know, this show is about solutions. And when I have solutions, I want to bring them to you. So without further ado, I am going to just give you a little taste of Mr. Tucker that I got to interview last week, and putting him on right now. Enjoy. You are tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show. And I have a special guest today. You know, as we settle back into the second half of the school year, millions of kids across the country are riding a bus to school. Now, more than ever, districts are making sure the ride to school is beneficial for both the students' health and the environment by using cleaner energy. Joining us today is Tucker Perkins from the Propane Education and Research Council to share information about the benefits of propane. Welcome to my show, Tucker Perkins.
Good morning, and thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, first question, why is it important for our kids to ride school buses powered by cleaner energy sources?
Well, it is really important. And I think, shockingly, children today ride to school in a school bus, much like I rode to in one years ago, powered by diesel. And we just know there had to be a cleaner, safer, healthier way to get to school. And that way is in a bus powered by propane. A bus powered by propane is better for the child. It's better for the community in which these buses operate, and much better for the environment.
Are buses powered by alternative energy sources better for a child's health?
Yeah, think about it. They're much cleaner, but think about it yourself. You've been behind a school bus or perhaps a diesel truck when it pulled away from a stop, and you see that cloud of black smoke, right? Mm-hmm. We now know that in that cloud of black smoke are harmful pollutants that are really harmful to children, harmful to everyone, but particularly harmful to young lungs. Asthma, bronchitis result from that cloud of black smoke. And when you choose a propane school bus, that cloud of black smoke is gone. We also know that they're quieter. And to give a child not only a healthier ride to school, but a quieter ride, it's a winning combination to help a child do better in school, to actually learn more.
That makes total sense. Now, how are these buses better for our communities?
Well, certainly they're better for your community because they're quieter, they're cleaner. Every mile they operate in your neighborhood, in your subdivision, on your streets is one more place that you have reduced emissions and a quieter ride. But for a community, it's also important to think about cost. They cost about the same as a diesel bus, but their operating costs are half that of a diesel bus. In fact, a study suggested that if we moved all of the diesel buses to propane, we'd save enough money to hire 23,000 new teachers into the classroom. Think about it, 23,000 new teachers just from the savings alone. So really quieter streets, quieter community, healthier air, healthier children, and yet still save enough money to even do better things in the school system.
That's amazing, those numbers. Now, what are some environmental benefits of these buses?
Well, these buses are quite simply cleaner. They're better in greenhouse gases. They're better for the environment. And really, as people begin to think about the future of transportation, we kind of move away from diesel. Now we're beginning to think about, the two ways to go to the future, which would either be propane school buses or battery electric school buses. I think people often don't realize 60% of the electric grid today is powered from coal, oil, or natural gas. So even when compared to an electric bus, these buses can have a positive impact on the environment. Allows us to reduce carbon emissions now, still quiet, still cost savings, but cut carbon emissions now.
Great. Now, how common right now are alternative energy school buses?
Well, I'm always proud to say that this morning, 1.3 million children rode to school on propane-powered school buses. That's a great statistic. They were routing 22,000 school buses really across this country. And so we're proud of that start. We're even prouder that some school systems are standardizing on propane, have achieved 100% adoption. Others are just starting that path, but more and more fleet managers see the need to, as I'm quick to say, clear the air and quiet the ride by choosing propane.
Fantastic. What about the impact for school system budgets and the cost?
Yeah, that's so important, right? School systems are, just always have so many uses for their money. So again, a propane bus is very comparably priced to a diesel, but much cheaper to operate. But even as we think about battery electric, they're 1/3 the cost of a battery electric vehicle. And it really gives us a chance to replace those aging, dirty diesel buses at 3 times the rate. So really, whether we're thinking about moving from diesel, moving into the future, we can still do it. And the real benefit in choosing propane is we're able to get rid of those older, dirty diesel buses at 3 times the rate.
Great. What can parents do if they want their schools to get these buses?
Yeah, we love parents to ask the right questions, to become engaged. We have a website for parents, betterourbuses.com, betterourbuses.com. It's a great place for parents to go to first learn more, to learn how to engage with their local leaders, and how to really start this conversation about migrating to a cleaner, healthier, quieter way for their children to get to school.
Fantastic. So for more information, you just mentioned it, www.betterourbuses.com. Betterourbuses.com. Thank you for this very useful information, Tucker. I'm sold.
Well, thank you.
My kids are graduated from college already, but certainly I can use this platform to promote, and there's doesn't sound like there's any downside at all. So thanks so much.
Marissa, I really appreciate the time. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Have the best day ever.
You too. Bye.
And I hope that you got some solution there from that little interview. I'm so amazed that propane is that much less, and it's so much better for the environment and certainly for our children. So as usual, the show's about hope and happiness. So I'm bringing you solution instead of ranting about the problem. Betterourbuses.com is where you can go for more of that. And I think I spelt buses wrong. I was just looking it up. So that is not the address that I have here in the comments. I'll fix that in a second. But the rest of this show is our special series on Mondays now. People have been asking for more happiness. And I thought, one of the things I love to do is up level and do live coaching. So if you would like to be next on my Monday happiness coaching docket, please do go to drmarissa.life and put your name in the subject matter and say happiness coaching, and I will schedule you in. And that's exactly what my guest here did. She actually messaged me on Facebook, and she said, I would love to be a caller, and I would love to talk to you. I actually met her some years back, and I'm glad that we finally have her on the show. Please welcome to my studio for some happiness coaching. Her name is Kanchan Farkia. I'll see if I got that right. And good morning.
Good morning. I'm so glad. It's an honor for me to be in your show.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to do some before at the end of this, we'll find out a little more about you and your work and why I met you at ACMA. But right now, we're going to get to how do we get more happiness. So what I'd like you to do is put your feet on the ground and your palms up in your lap, and gently close your eyes and take a deep breath in through the nose. And releasing, soft shoulders, soft elbows, soft knees, activating the body with your breath. Second breath in. And releasing all the stories and the drama, activating the mind. And one more deep breath in. And releasing, This is connecting with me through chi, eternal energy, the breath of life, no beginning, no end. And just connecting now energetically. Maybe you're feeling your fingers tingle a little as we prepare to do a little happiness dancing. And when you're ready, come back to the room, open your eyes. Oh, actually, before you open your eyes, I want to ask you a series of questions. So on a scale of 1 to 10, so 1 being not so good, 10 being really good, how would you rate your job and career right now on a scale of 1 to 10? What number would it be?
9.
9. Beautiful. And on the same scale, we're going to rate your health and well-being.
9.
9 as well. All right. And your relationships, your romantic relationships, your friendship relationships, your family relationships on a scale of 1 to 10, what's that average?
10.
Oh, all right. Let's open our eyes. All right. So if I normally I'm looking for an 8 as the best. You've already exceeded 8s on every scale, so we have nothing to talk about. Now that would be a very short call. So I'm gonna push you a little. So what if there was one thing that would make you happy if it happened? What would that be? What has not happened in your life that you think would bring you some more happiness that hasn't happened?
I think actually, as an educator, I work with students. So I want all my students to be energetic, motivate, have full of motivation, and they do their best in their life, especially children. So I just want to be a catalyst for their life and help them a lot. Also, I just want to help all the homeless people. They are my sisters and brothers. So I'm working on it, but I still want to do more.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a voice in your head that says you're not doing enough? You should be doing more. Why aren't you doing more? How come this is happening?
I think I need to do more. I'm not there yet. Um, I'm an aspiring counselor as well, and actually, I'm also teach in elementary schools yoga and mindfulness. So I'm not there yet, but I'm still trying my best. Due to my schedule, I wear different hats, so I'm trying my best, and I believe myself that I will get it soon.
Hmm. And where are you from originally?
So originally, I was born in India. However, I live right now in San Diego, California.
Uh-huh. And what brought you here?
So I'm willing to write a book regarding the mindfulness and happiness and wellness. So you seem so inspiring to me. So I wanted to meet you. I want to see, because I don't think so. I'm imperfection. I have a lots of imperfection. I want to know more about you, get to more know about your knowledge. Your I just want to get more, absorb all the positivity from you. So I'm here to learn actually.
Okay. Tell me a little about uh, your upbringing in India and how that impacted you to get over here.
In India, my life was so different because I lived a princess life since my childhood, because the surrounding was so in nature, and it was amazing. It described in my book, that is 30 Shining Stars of the World, where my story is in the chapter 12. Uh, Anybody can find it, that information, in Amazon or Barnes and Nobles. So I can't describe everything. However, I spent my whole life in India, and I moved here after my marriage with my husband. But in my school, the teacher, there was a PE class, and they used to teach the yoga. So I love the yoga, and then being a mindfulness, this thing came from my school life, and I'm still practicing. I'm a yoga teacher as well, so right now I'm teaching students.
Hmm.
uh,
So you grew up as a princess, literally, or you were just talking about living in nature?
Actually, not literally, but in nature. And
Okay,
then my parents, they treat me as as a princess.
it's a princess. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, was it an arranged marriage?
Yes, it was mix. It was a mixed marriage. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Did your parents pick your husband for you?
I picked my husband for myself, and my
Okay.
parents arranged that marriage.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah.
was he Is he Indian? He
Yes.
is Indian. Okay. And whose idea was it to move to San Diego?
Oh, it was, he got job here.
He got a job here.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got to come with, and you still are married.
Yes.
Okay. And do you have children?
I have one child because
Okay. And how old is your child?
he is 16.
Okay. Wow. All right. Um, so let's see. Is how happy is he?
Um, he is a happy child because my education in the child development, I grew him in, and I always give him quality time. He's my, like, everything. He's my
Okay.
whole world. So even I'm so busy, but I give all my time with him, spend all my time. For example, if I went last week in New York Fashion Week, and I was not there alone. I My son was with me. I said, okay, let's go, we will have fun together. So I
Mm,
always involve my son in all of them. Even I do volunteer for community, for schools, for anything. I try to get him involved and motivate him. So I try my best. And
oh,
yeah, he's a good child. He's a very innocent, honest child.
great. And your husband, would you say he, on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy is he?
He is a very cheerful person. He has all the positive attitude, and he makes his the surrounding, his friendship, all. very happy. Yeah, he's happy.
Okay.
But yeah, you know what? Sometimes he get just like anything. If he's not saying anything positive for something, I try to say that no. I think we should change our mindset. We try to help each other.
Does he ever get mad at you for being so positive?
No, no, he wants me to be positive. Actually, sometimes I get. At 3 years back, I was not that positive person. Not much, but I have been learning every day. So he used to say like, "Oh, you should think in a different way," and I learn. I educate myself every day. So today, now I feel like I'm a better person. I change my perspective from the life and um, be a better person every day.
So let's go back to the 2 or 3 years ago. What were the things that were keeping you from being happy?
Um, so actually, my dad passed away 3 years to yeah 2 years ago. So that made me feel so like not good.
Mm-hmm.
But
In,
actually,
in in India, he was in India when he passed.
yes, he
Okay.
passed away in India. I was here, so I couldn't met him for the last time. So that made me feel like for 1 year it was very hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw my my sadness was affecting my son as well, then I realized that it is not good. But I also changed my mindset for many things because my mindset, I read a book and that says like if um, according to the physics, there is a law that the energy cannot be destroyed, not it can form. So soul, what I thinking, the soul is a form of energy. So my dad's body destroyed, but he's still there in the universe. So everybody has to go, but we are as a soul, we are energy. I believe in that. And I say, okay, whenever I will meet my dad, he's still there. I talk to him, I pray for him every time. So that made me happy, and he wants to see me happy all the time. So
Mm-hmm.
that good memory, I have it, and I change my perspective for that. That my dad is still there. He has his energy. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Great. Yeah, when we were just doing the three breaths there, that third breath is
Mhm.
based on that energetic connection.
Yeah.
So that's the same level. And I'm glad that you uh, learn that. It is part of something that I do in my happiness coaching as well. When people are very, very, how to say this, when their sadness moves beyond the flow of life and it becomes so heavy and um, so oppressing. And so, if you are listening this morning and you're having some difficulty with loss, I watch people as they grieve and as they suffer from the loss. And my BS, my belief system, is as Kanchan just mentioned, that we really don't lose. And if I had one wish on the planet, it would be that people could understand and revel in the BS, the belief system that death is not a loss. Now, that's not a very popular belief system because we have a society and a culture that is very burdened by death, and we do believe that our physical body is what defines life. And the example that I use is the machine that measures your pulse, right? And if you're in a hospital dying, uh, and people will ask, are they alive or dead? So when you have your brain stops functioning, your brain dead. Is that real? Are you dead yet? No, because you can still be on that machine that keeps you alive with that pulse. When you can't breathe anymore, are you dead? No, because there are machines that will keep you alive with breath. What is truly the moment of death? What is the moment of death?
Oh my God, this is a hard question.
Well, you answered it. You answered it earlier. The moment of death is when that energy that gives you the pulse is flatlined. What does that line measure? It measures energy. So at the point where there is no energy in your body, we define as death.
Correct.
But as you said already, that energy doesn't go away. The energy is not extinguished. That energy still exists in the universe, in the world, in our breath, in our surrounding areas. So it's interesting. The more that I read and understand, and the more I hear about out of life, out of body experiences, the more I am encountering people who have died and come back, the more that I have psychics on my show, the more that I understand death and what it really is, the more heartened and knowing I am that death does not mean anything except the energy has passed from the body out into this collective energetic soup that we're all in, that is connected to the energy that creates the worlds, the energy that didn't let the planets crash last night, and so we're all dead, the energy that guides your ability to create and to connect, and my ability to design and write, and all of that energy is accessible and palpable and really what life is. But because we grew up with the BS, the belief system that energy is, out there, or that we are only alive as our bodies are alive, that's what gets us into a pickle when people die. So when people die, we've been raised to think that it is so catastrophic. And thank you for that heart. If you're just tuning in, thank you. And be sure to write in the comment section, and I can put who you are on the screen if you'd like to contribute to this. We are talking about death because my coachee, my victim today, my volunteer who's on camera with me, we're doing some happiness coaching, and the topic is death and how death sometimes can bring us down to that point that we don't think we're ever going to get back up again. And it is something that will downgrade our happiness for a day, a month, 6 months, a year, 10 years. I have people that come to me who are still feeling the suffering and the loss from someone close to them, maybe from a tragedy, or even if you know that they're going to die, you know that their bodies are not going to last forever. I'm in that situation now. My Chinese mom is 88. She's in palliative level care now. I'm going to Canada again in March to spend some time with her because I know this is really the end part of her life, and to be there to help ease some of the pain is important to me. I have a bonus mom and dad who are 90 and 93, and I spend every spare minute. I think I was messaging you yesterday. She wanted to have some time to chat before the interview, and I was with my parents and my bonus parents watching let's see, we watched what was on last night? American Idol and some America's Got Talent that we have to catch up on, and just spending time with them and knowing that in the body connection, our time is limited. But I know that my father, my Chinese dad who passed in 2000, is still here with me. He's watching and listening and being with us just the same way as your father. What was his name? What is his name?
My dad is SM Srivastav.
SM Shivasto, and he's with my dad right now on the other side, and just loving us and loving you from exactly where you are. And thank you, Kathy O'Barrow. Great topic and perfect timing. It is, Kathy. It's always perfect timing. And absolutely, it is my blessing. You are welcome, Kathy. And thanks for tuning in. Very loyal listener and supporter. And she's also a fellow Agape International Choir member. She actually, I'm sure you were streaming yesterday. We were on stage and got to groove with that. And I just want to get back to a story that I want to give you, Kanchan, when you still do. And this is, I think, important because you rated all the time 9 and 10, and you're happy all the time, and you try and you work very hard, and you have a discipline to be that way, and that's good and great. And I would suggest that there are no more than 12% of the time, but allow yourself a few moments to be sad or be mad or be human, because there are going to be times that you do miss your dad. And there's a danger, and a lot of people who are spiritual, they believe that they should be a certain way, or they should be, or they shouldn't be. And those shoulds are very dangerous. And if you are not fully, now there's a balance here. So some people want to be fully authentic all the time, and whatever they're feeling, they want to say, I'm being authentic and I'm pissed off and I don't like you and I don't like this. And, it's important to be brutally honest, and I need to say what's on my mind because I want to be authentic. And that, my friends, is bullshitaki, BS. You do not need to be fully authentic all the time wherever you are, because you're having a knee-jerk reaction, and jerk is where you're going to end up. And so for those who have those BS belief systems that are extreme, I have to be authentic and tell you who I am and what I am, and if you don't like it, go somewhere else. That is not what I'm talking about. That is not what I mean by allowing yourself some time to be human. I didn't say all the time. There are times, though, if you don't feel like this morning, I'm having some kind of allergy reaction. So I took a Benadryl last night, and, I'm grateful that I know what it is like to be clear-minded. And I had to take it because I was starting to get a rash, and that is real. And it's my body telling me there's something I'm eating or something in the air that I'm allergic to. So I didn't feel good this morning, and I didn't feel like going to the gym, because that's normally what I would have done this morning at 6 a.m. I allowed myself a little time to just sit with that, not quite feeling my normal happy self. And because I did that, I didn't beat myself up. And I hear a little bit of beating yourself up sometimes when you say, I'm trying, I'm doing the best that I can. And that's good, but it tells me you have a critic inside of you that's a pretty strong critic. And it will take away sometimes your natural happiness, because when you're not feeling happy, there's nothing wrong with that. When we're feeling less than 100% happy, it's okay. We are human beings. We have feelings. And there's an analogy that I like to use that is our emotional spectrum. So, our ability to feel sad is the same or equal to our capacity to feel happy. So, if you never let yourself feel sad, you cannot feel happy. And it's like a door. So, I don't know if you've seen they're called dumb waiters. They're doors that close like this. So sometimes doors open this way, right? And it's either open or closed. Dumb waiters, if you pull this part down, you also pull this part up. That's how dumb waiters work. So when you cut off and you say, I'm not going to feel sad, I'm not going to feel disappointed, I'm not going to feel frustrated, which is what I hear from you. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to feel happy all the time. 100% of the time I have to be happy. What happens is if you cut that part off, then you also cut off the top end of bliss, the top end of exhilaration, the top end of ecstasy. And that is what a lot of people are doing right now, if they are spiritual, or if they have this expectation that I am just never going to be unhappy. And what happens is you reduce your ability to feel anything. So people are walking around and saying, I'm okay, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. How are you today, Kanchan? Oh, I'm wonderful. Everything is good. I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And I'm not always successful, but I'm really trying hard. But I'm really going to do this. And I'm not saying that you don't feel that way. I just want you to allow yourself some moments where you just connect and say, I need a hug. Right now, I'm feeling a little less than my normal happy self. And I'm gonna be okay with giving myself 8 minutes. I'll give
Okay.
myself 8 minutes to feel bad.
I want to
Because
add. I want to add something. So I have my own time, like my time every day in the morning or any time, where I connect with my dad. I connect with myself, and I really get emotional. So I don't share everything with everyone, like I'm going to the work. I don't share these things, but I'm sharing with you right now that I have those moments. I do.
Mhm.
And I, mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
and it's
I try to balance everything. This
mhm,
moment makes me happy because this moment makes me feel okay. So you have every connection with you, with your mom, with your dad, with yourself, and with the universe. And then I that makes me feel happy and satisfied in the life. And that way I'm able to help others. I'm able to support my students. I'm able to, wherever I go, I feel like okay, now I'm complete, and I don't have any regrets because I have those feelings. And
mhm.
yes, so I do that moment.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. For those of you who are listening, we are doing happiness coaching here on Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show. I am your host, Dr. Marissa. I'm hashtag positively opinionated. And my guest absolutely is the same way. And we're talking about death, and we're talking about dealing with death and moving from seeing it as a loss, uh, as limiting it and calling it properly as just the loss of the body. And I understand when people feel badly because the body is not there, to talk to, the body's not there to hold, the body's not there to hug you. But the beauty of re-examining how we address loss and how we address death, I think, is super important. My teacher, one of my great teachers that has really helped in this last 4 or 5 years is Abraham Hicks. And she, through Esther, Abraham has also been a really good teacher on seeing death as just the transition of people going back into the strength of the quantum energy, so to speak, the soup or the connection that we all come from. And that connection allows us to certainly not grieve those who have gone to the other side. But also, I think the flip side is when people can understand that, one, they're not alone, that two, we're all connected through this energetic quantum connection, we will begin to allow for all the solutions that we are blessed with in this thing called life. And I think oftentimes we feel like we've got to do it all. Like it's up to me. I'm the only one with the answer. I'm the only one that can help. I'm the only one that can help my students. I'm the only one who's got the answer for this. And the truth is, all 7.456 billion of us, we have an internal guide. Everyone is born with a connection, a personal connection to that energetic that has the solutions. And I think teachers often and people who are motivational speakers like myself and yourself, and people who have the ability to motivate, sometimes can get caught up in I'm the only answer, or I want to reach so many people. And I know that I'm guilty of that too. You know, I have a happy 88 mission, 88 million people, more happy people in the next 8 years. But the truth is, I'm not the only one. Everybody has their own guidance system. Now, what's beautiful about what we have access to is that anyone who's gone through some hardship, anyone who's gotten through pain in life, has the ability to help motivate. But there's so many different ways, and so many, some people go through yoga, some people go through behavioral modification. Some people go through group therapy. There's so many ways in which people can feel edified by those around you. So I think that for me to not take away from someone's own ability to heal, and that they are where they are for a reason, is also very important. I think and that would be my coaching to you as well, as that you're not taking on the world to say that, this mindfulness, which is a great tool, that yoga is a great tool, but there are so many ways in which all of us, I believe that all of us are inherently teachers, that all of us have that pain point that allows us to connect with other people who have similar pain points. And I think that is so important. And like you've done, I think everybody has a book in them. I think everybody should be, not should, oops, I almost should on you, or should on myself again. Everybody has that ability to express from pain. And loss is one of those areas that I believe we can all use some healing from, that we can all be extremely not happy about, but wiser about, that it is not the end. So if you're listening right now and you're still suffering beyond a year, beyond 6 months, beyond 10 years, that you somehow feel like your life is not complete because that person is not with you in the body anymore, I would absolutely come to my Get Happy Hour that I run every last Friday of the month. And we're going to be talking about death there. I think this is something that is, it's time. It's time for us to truly understand, not saying that we don't do all the things that are, causing death, gun violence, homelessness, all those things have a time and a place is now for solution, but that we also deal with this giant debilitating elephant in the room and put the moose on the table about death, that it is something that we can all begin to collectively relook at, so we're not so taken down by death. Does that make sense?
Yes, I also believe in that you know what, many people, whoever, they just experienced death for a few seconds and they came, and they are so thinking like, oh, I'm so grateful to be a human being. And there is a truth that your human being is the only one um, um kind of body that has a straight vertebrae, like vertical. And then if you see the animals, they have horizontal. So if you are a straight vertebra, and then you, that's how you are connecting to the universe. So that's why whenever you do meditation and whenever you talk, you have to make your body straight, and this is how you connect. And this is a superpower as a human being, and because we have imagination power, not the animals. We as a human being can do anything, so we are so blessed and grateful whatever the life we have. So even you lost, there's a loss in a grief in your life. I mean, you just think about it, how grateful you are being their daughter or their relative, and then you are doing for them. And as a human being, just embrace that and be grateful and do whatever you can do in your life, because you are limitless. Whatever you believe, you can do it. This is what I believe it. And many people, they did it in their life with this belief thinking and with the positive mindset.
That's great. And this is preaching to the choir today here on Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa. It is life balance coaching. We're talking about death. And I want to finish off with this beautiful dream that I had to magnify your father's ability to continue to support you from where he is on the other side. I was also quite taken down when my father first died, as you were describing a couple of years ago with your father. And he passed very early. I wasn't ready for it. He was 70. He was retired. So excited about my second child that was on her way. And he woke up one morning with bruises all over his body and collapsed when he was in the bathroom. I got the call when I was actually doing a program on value and diversity at Mattel. Those moments that have an impact that you will remember where you were. And I flew back, and it took them 8 months to do the diagnostics to find out what he had. And by that time, it was almost too late to start chemo. He had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and did not last another 3 months after the diagnosis. So he got to hold my youngest daughter, Sarah, when she was 21 days old, and then flew back to Canada and then never left the hospital at that point. And I was so grief stricken. I collapsed at the funeral. I sang "It Is Well With My Soul." I was inconsolable. And I also, like you, spent much time just grieving. I was inconsolable. And I know that I speak on behalf of many people who lose their parents before they're allowed to, play. My father, the only thing he ever wanted to do was to play with my kids. And so that was every time I saw my kids, I would be reminded that he wasn't there, that he wasn't going to be able to play with them, that he wasn't going to be able to grow up with them. And it just hurt my heart every single time. Everything was a reminder of that loss. And I had a dream about 8 months in. And in that dream, I was flying. And when I was flying, I went up, I flew high, and I was in the heavens, and I saw a gathering. And I was like, wow, what's going on? What's going on there? There's a gathering of people. And I flew in closer. And I'm going to say right now, you're flying with me, Kanchan. And you're flying with me. And as we fly closer, we see two groups of people. We see two groups of people who are gathered around a giant big screen TV. And that giant big screen, there's one over here and there's one over here. And in my big screen, the one that I'm flying towards, I see my father, I see Dr. Jimmy, I see Michael Maine, I see Dr. McCraven. I see so many people that I know and love. I see my dog Destiny, and they're all around, sitting around that big screen TV. And every time something happened, they would stand up and cheer, and Destiny would bark, and they'd be like, just like whoop, whoop, whoop. They'd be happy. And then on your end, you're going in and you see your father, and maybe you see some friends that left the planet early, no longer in their body, and they're also watching a big screen TV, and it's got, every once in a while they're like hooting and hollering and cheering and saying, wow, look at that, and they're so happy. And I'm trying to figure out what's happening. So I fly in closer and closer. And guess what? They're watching my life. And every time I get an award, by the way, next week from tonight, I get my 19th award. It's a Lifetime Achievement Award. So you'll have to tune in next Monday. But every award and every major thing, and every time something bad happens, they'd be like, oh, it's okay. We love you. And we're cheering you on, and have a hug. And same thing in your life. Every time you're getting an award, and every time you're helping a student, and every time you're doing a workshop and a motivating, they're standing up and cheering. And that is the situation for every single one of us on the planet. We have a cheering section in heaven with all of those. They're not gone. They're not away. They're not lost. They haven't passed. They're not lost. They don't need to be found. We know where they are. They're always there cheering us on. And I'm so grateful that I know this beyond a shadow of a doubt. I know that you know that as well. I know that you are firm in the knowing that there is no such thing as the end in death. Yes. And that is the last word from me in this life coaching session. Thank you so much for coming on. And really, you didn't need any coaching. You are already well on your way. You understand the concepts, and I wish you well in your teaching and all of your programs. We're out of time, but thank you. If you would do this with me as I do at every show, it's all about balance, folks. Yes. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live on Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, NBC News Radio, a station that leaves no listener behind. See you.